We'll be dealing with this. Trump has brought forward with the Republican leadership a reconciliation bill, or what he calls his big, beautiful bill. And at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, this bill would provide $650 billion in tax breaks to the top 1%. It would provide more than $400 billion to large corporations who will use those tax breaks to bring in robotics and artificial intelligence, which will throw workers in this country out on the street. And the Republicans are paying for these huge tax breaks in an incredibly insidious and immoral way. Everybody here knows that our health care system today is broken, right? We got 85 million Americans who are uninsured or underinsured. What these guys want to do is cut Medicaid by some $700 billion and throw 16 million more Americans off of the health care they have. And it's not just individuals who would be impacted. Nursing homes, who are already struggling, receive 2/3 of their funding from Medicaid, and these nursing homes would either have to shut down or lower their quality of care. It would be, these cuts to Medicaid would be devastating for community health centers, and I fought very hard over the years to build community health centers all over America, including Texas, so people, regardless of income, could walk in and get the health care they need. This bill cuts in Medicaid, devastating not only community health centers, but the hospitals, to the entire health care system. And here's something that is really unbelievable and shocking.
Trump has introduced a reconciliation bill in partnership with Republican leadership, calling it his big, beautiful bill. At a time of growing income and wealth inequality, this legislation proposes $650 billion in tax breaks for the wealthiest 1% of Americans. Additionally, it offers over $400 billion in tax cuts to large corporations. These corporations are likely to invest in robotics and artificial intelligence with these benefits, a move that threatens to displace countless American workers. To finance these massive tax cuts, the bill proposes severe reductions in critical public services. Medicaid would face a $700 billion cut, resulting in 16 million people losing access to health care. These cuts would have a ripple effect across the healthcare system. Nursing homes, which receive 2/3 of their funding from Medicaid, could be forced to shut down or lower their standards of care. Community health centers, built to provide care regardless of income, would be devastated. Hospitals, too, would struggle under the pressure of these reductions.
There was a study done recently by the Yale School of Public Health and the University of Pennsylvania, and they estimated that when you throw 16 million people off of the health care that they have, people who are working class, people who are lower income, there will be an additional 50,000 unnecessary deaths every single year. But it's not just our health care system that would be devastated by this legislation. And this, again, is almost, you wonder the mentality, what world these guys are living in. All of us know that there are kids in Texas and in Vermont who go hungry. They don't get enough food, right? There are senior citizens who are dependent on Meals on Wheels program, congregate meal program, so they get at least one decent, nutritious meal a day. This legislation would cut $290 billion from nutrition. It is shameful, it is immoral, it is outrageous. And I don't have to tell anybody here that kids all over this country struggling, trying to figure out how they can afford to go to college or get the training they need to get a good job. This bill would slash education funding by $350 billion a year. Brothers and sisters, what we are dealing with is not only a massive attack on working families in order to benefit the very, very rich. And when I talk about the power of the rich, it's not only economic. I want you also to understand what a lot of people don't perceive. We have today a corrupt campaign finance system.
A study by Yale School of Public Health and the University of Pennsylvania estimated that stripping health care from 16 million people would result in an additional 50,000 preventable deaths each year. The consequences of the bill reach beyond health care. It also proposes cutting $290 billion from nutrition assistance programs. This would affect millions of children and senior citizens who depend on programs like Meals on Wheels and school meal services for basic nutrition. Furthermore, the legislation includes a proposed $350 billion annual cut to education funding. This would undermine efforts by young Americans to afford college or receive job training, limiting future opportunities for economic mobility. Overall, the bill reflects a broad and systematic attack on working families, enacted to benefit the ultra-wealthy. The power of the rich, as highlighted, extends beyond economics into the political sphere through a corrupt campaign finance system that further entrenches inequality.